This is Ted Flett of Golden Skate, and I'm joined by two-time world ice dance champions and record holder scores for the free dance, Gabriella Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron. It was tough to get through that pronunciation. Thanks so much for talking to us today. This is day 2 of competition at the World Championships, day 4 of practice, and still no ice dance competition. So unlike Boston, where it kicked off with the short dance, here in Helsinki,
keeping the best for the end.
There you go. Is that tough to pace yourselves? And then I saw some of your tweets yesterday around, following the pairs competition. Is it hard to watch that competition and not be part of it and sort of the ups and downs?
Well, we arrived after the pairs, so we had a normal amount of days of practice. And it's also good to, see a little bit of the competition, to imagine ourselves in the ring and see a little bit the dynamic and everything. I think, every competition different. So we've been in the situation where we've been, like we were the first skating and the first to finish. It's different, but it's okay. Mm-hmm.
And for you, Guillaume?
For me, I like both. I like finishing early because then you get to see the city a little bit, enjoy the competition, but I also like watching some of the events before we skate, so that I just really get excited because I'm a skater too. I can do that, so I'll be there tomorrow. It's just like it's a cool feeling too.
Sure. So in the pair short program last night, who did you like? What did you enjoy most?
I really like the Chinese couple.
We love.
Insane, but of course in my heart. Our hearts go to the French couple, Vanessa and Morgan, even with the fall. I think it was an amazing program.
They're an outstanding team, and that was unfortunate.
They're different. They're different, and I think that's something that we've seen a lot in the French ice dance, but not always in the other events, in the other disciplines. So I think it's great that they have a different style.
They have their own style. That's something that, we really like.
So talking about your own style, you both have, of course, your own very distinct style. And this year, you've evolved even further. For example, in short dance, choosing swing and blues as opposed to hip-hop, which is what most of your competitors have chosen. Can you talk a little bit about what informed that decision and what made you choose that music?
We haven't really talked about it much. It always felt like this was the
natural choice.
I mean, we're from France, so we don't have the whole hip hop culture as much as North Americans, I think. We've always been into swing and old school things, and to make it our own, also a bit more modern too. It was something that was really interesting and exciting, and it was natural.
There was a costume change sort of mid-season. Can you talk a little bit about that and why you made the change?
I think we wanted to, the first costume, I think we wanted to have that retro kind of look, and it worked well on the ice, but we like sometimes, especially in the short dance, we usually change the costume just to feel fresh again, and we wanted to have a more modern look and something that would
more flashy too.
Yeah, just like stand out on the ice too.
Okay. And your free dance. Well, let's talk about costumes first in the free dance. Adam Rippon said at Skate America that he had a hunch that once the rules changed, Guillaume would be going sleeveless this season. And of course he did too, in his short program. So when that rule change took place, was that an instant you knew I'm going sleeveless this season?
No, not really. I think the rule changed last year.
Okay.
I don't even know. I had to check because that's what I wanted to wear, and then I had to check if that was allowed, and it was, and it's just, I always skate sleeveless at practice. I just feel more comfortable with that, so it's just, I was relieved, like, no sleeves. I feel like I can breathe again.
Right. Was it tough in competition to get used to to Guillaume sleeveless? If you're grabbing his arm, it's like, wait, that's not material.
Like he said, he always practices like that, so I barely, it's not a shock for me. It's just natural, normal.
And the music choice for the free dance. You know, it seems consistent with your style of, it's hard to come up with the words, of music that creates this really sublime, unique quality between the two of you that drives this chemistry between the two of you that is so different and ethereal in comparison to the other skaters. How did you find this music and then come up with the movements to portray it?
Guillaume came up with the music. We were looking for music for a long time. It was a very hard decision.
Really hard.
Yeah, it was a really hard process. But because we wanted something different. We didn't want any lyrics because we wanted to have a song, like have music that we can totally appropriate. Mm-hmm. And we wanted something different too. We wanted to play with the rhythm, with the interpretation, having some different textures in the music. And then the movements came, and it was hard because it's not a music where you can put like normal skating arms and movements.
Sure.
So we had to think a lot about it, to work and on the floor, try to feel what the music was about, and trying to, free ourselves from, all the cliche movements that we learned all our career. And that was a hard process, but that's what we wanted to do this year. We said like, okay, this is the year before Olympics.
Let's make it even harder.
Yeah, let's do something different. Let's do something that's hard and that we can learn about it. And even if, we take risks and we don't have the results we want, it's the good year to do it. It's not the Olympic year that you can do that. So, well, let's do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To what extent do you try and observe what other skaters are picking for music? Or is that completely of no interest to you?
You mean when we choose the music?
When you choose your music. So if you know that Chalk and Bates are skating to Queen, do you think, oh boy, we need to skate to, not Queen, but does that ever inform your decision making?
Well, we don't want to show up with the same music as someone else.
That's exactly the same one.
Yeah, we're trying to do something that's different because it's, it's not fun when you arrive in competition and we have almost the same music as someone. So yeah, that's what we're trying to be careful of. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't really pay attention to that. Even the styles, we just, I think we have our own path, and we try to stay true to that and make choices that make sense considering what we've done and what we want to do next.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For some fans that can follow the other disciplines, men's, ladies, and pairs more easily because they can see when you've executed a successful jump or a trick more easily than an ice dance. If they look at a free dance such as yours and they think, I just don't get it. Like I don't know what story they're trying to tell. How would you answer that? What are you trying to convey in that 4 minutes?
I think most of the people don't, like when they look at pair skating or single skating, usually there's no story, or they don't go that far into the art. I think for some of them, yes, but most of them don't. So people just don't question that much. Mm-hmm. But I think we try to always be really focused on what we do and don't let negative energy into our work area. But we do care, like we do pay attention of what people's feelings are. And I think that's why we do this. We really want to touch people. And if they don't, that's that we didn't do our job right. It's not complete enough. Maybe it's not, maybe we don't have worked on it enough, or maybe there's something that we're missing. So we always consider that as well, but we know what we want to do, and we know where we're going. So that's how it works.
Okay. So talking about your work area, this year you began training, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir began training with you in Montreal. Can you talk to us about what that process looks like? I mean, when two-time world champions find out that former Olympic champions are returning to competition and they're going to be training with you, were you jumping up with joy? Was there any kind of hesitation? And I say that because, for example, last year one broadcaster revealed that, in the Russian pairs school, Volosashar and Trankov didn't train at the same times as Stolova and Klimov, apparently, because that just wasn't cool. They had to the two teams had to stay separate, which indicates that when you're at that level of competition, sometimes it's hard to keep, to keep that sort of, that rivalry outside of practice. So how did you find out that Virtue and Moir were going to be joining you, or were you consulted? What did that look like?
We heard about it a few weeks before Worlds last year. So we had a few months to prepare ourselves for for them coming in Montreal. And we didn't really know them before, but still we did some tours and they came in Montreal. So we kind of had a feeling of the persons they were, and we liked them. So I don't know, it was a bit weird at first because I was really not expecting them to come back. So I was like, wow, they're coming back. Okay, so next year is going to be, different and new, and there's going to be some new things to deal with and everything. But training with them, it was always interesting. They're very professional athletes. They have a lot of experience that we can learn from because we're new in this whole top teams ice dance, and they've been around for a couple of years. We all encourage each other. We all see what the other is doing, not in a bad way, but oh wow, they're working really hard today. So it kind of makes you want to work hard too. So it's a good dynamic. Yeah.
And would you echo those same comments, or?
Yeah, there's never been really a bad energy on the ice. It's always, we communicate well. There's a good energy between us. And we don't always work on the ice at the same time. So we kind of cross into each other, but it's just, it doesn't feel hard. And it wasn't a big shock either at the beginning of the season. It was just, something to get used to. It's just different. It was just a different settings.
Right.
It was the different settings for a season, and we had to adjust considering that. But it didn't really. It wasn't. There's nothing really negative about that.
Okay. Reflecting on your competitions this season, you've had great successes, and for a team that's been at the top, all of last season, although it was cut short or started late because of the concussion. Is it harder in comparison this season to have taken a couple of silver medals, whereas last year and the year before that, it was more gold was happening?
I guess we were disappointed after, when we've won a lot of gold medals after winning, a silver medal. And we didn't skate at our best at most competitions too. We did a few mistakes. So that was frustrating, you want to do your best, and when you don't, it's frustrating. So that was it. But we learned a lot about it because we've been dealing with some new pressure this year, and that kind of played in our stress and everything. But I feel that we've learned a lot more this year than the past years, and that's very interesting. And I think we really grew. We really grew up as athletes, and that's something we will carry on in our career.
Okay. When you talk about new stresses that you've worked on, can you share with us what those stresses have been?
Yeah, I'd say that being in competition with Tessa and Scott was something was new to deal with. Yeah. Yeah,
I would say it's also about the stories that people make out of this situation, and it's hard to. Because people feel involved and they feel like people make comments and they talk about it, and it's fine because it makes our sport alive. It makes people talk about it, so it's not a bad thing. But it's hard sometimes to get those comments and deal with it, and be just really focused on what you're doing and not care about what everybody's saying. So that's the hard part.
Yeah,
sure. Is it helpful to go through this process this season to prepare for next season for Olympics?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this season was hard, But I think that
Hey,
it's a good thing.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. But it's a good thing. It's a very good thing because we will be much stronger next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In your training camp, I think the public is so fast, and including myself, is fascinated by Marie-France, your coaches, Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon, Roman.
For good reasons.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about them. I mean, who's the taskmaster? Who's really tough? Who tends to be a bit more gentle and soft? Are they all tough?
Yeah, they all have quite strong personalities, and they're all really different. So usually, surprisingly, Marie-France is the toughest, I would say. Like she really pushes everyone. She has this kind of energy that when you're around, you don't rest. You just
Yeah, she's a very good leader in that way. Like she brings a lot of strong and positive energies.
And she's so artistic too. Like she comes out with so many ideas, and I don't even know how she can do so many programs and have always new ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's Patch, who's more like a technical freak.
Yeah.
But he's also very artistic in a way. Like he really gets movements and emotions and.
Yeah, he doesn't have a personality that pops, or that you don't see him like, oh my god, Patch arrived, like Marie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
really
have the same feeling.
He's like
But when he's around, you always feel like everything's gonna go okay. Everything's gonna be okay. He makes the schedule. He always makes sure that everything is planned. That we don't have to care about too much things around. He always, he's
taking care of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very reassuring, and he always picks up when someone is getting a little stressed, and he's the one that talks the less in the three coaches, but he's the one that's gonna pick up like, oh, this person is stressed out, and he's gonna come to you and smile, and you're going, oh,
more like
I'm
great.
Yeah.
That totally worked. That totally worked. I feel so relaxed now.
He's more like a
I learned from
daddy.
the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Roman.
And well, we have a different history with him.
Sure.
So we've known him for longer, and we trust him so completely. Like we.
Yeah, I think he would tell us like,
jump,
okay,
we would jump.
Yeah.
This is good for you.
This year you have to do a podcast. We would trust him.
Okay, it is.
Yeah, like he made it. Like we trusted him enough to follow him. Through the Atlantic, we moved to Canada because he moved, and he would have gone to Siberia. We would have followed him to Siberia,
Right, sure.
So it's just like his kind of our anchor, kind of. He knows what's best for us, and he knows us really well.
He has an eye to see, like, in 2 seconds he can tell you, this is good, this is not good, this dress is good, this dress is not good. He can really, he can really know if something is going to work in competition or not, he has a lot of experience in that way.
He's also like, he's the funny one, like he makes a lot of people scared. I think people are scared when they first work with him, because
I was super scared when
aura, like this. He's kind of intimidating, I think, at first.
Okay.
But then when you get to know him, he's really sweet, and he, like, we laugh a lot with him.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So, last question, because I know that you are heading to the draw for the short dance. Olympics next year. Any thoughts around sort of music preparation? Has that exercise happened yet?
Top secret. I'm just kidding.
But you can make it public right here, right now.
Wow!
No, we do have a few ideas of where we want to go. We've had ideas, even like when we were doing Mozart, we have ideas for the next 4 years. So it's like a kind of a natural
cycle.
Cycle. Like it's the path is like, we know where we want to go, but we still have to, find the right music and
there hasn't been yet any official decisions with the coaches and stuff, so that's why we can't talk about it yet.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today about your season, and best of luck here at the World Championships.
Thank you.